So the premise of this, if I could just set this up as a role play, or pretend that someone's sitting across from me, I'm really looking at this screen and being recorded. But for those of you guys in the room, you can just pretend like I'm intimately looking you eye in the eye. That's a really important thing when we're presenting. And so the premise is that maybe I ran into someone on Saturday of this last weekend. I learned that they might be putting their home on the market. They've already talked to another agent, right? Maybe that's already happened. So this is the competitive listing environment. And oh, by the way, I asked them, if they'd be willing, I'd love to come in and present to them. I said, if you'd be willing to spend 15 minutes with me, I would be willing to share with you what we do to get homes sold faster and for more money than our competitors. I think it's valuable for you to get a second opinion. And if at the end of 15 minutes what I say doesn't make any sense, I'll get up and walk away. And they agreed to let me come in. So now here I am. I'm at the appointment, and I'm going to go ahead and begin. Before I begin, I'm not perfect at this, so I may stumble and bumble, but that's just me, right? But that's real. That's what happens when you're at a listing appointment. So no matter what happens, I'll just keep going, right? Because you would have to do the same thing. You wouldn't be able to stop and start all over again, okay? So I have my packet of stuff here. I'm gonna go ahead and start. So, hey, thanks so much for agreeing to see me this evening. And I know when we talked on Saturday, you're very excited about getting your home on the market. So I was really honored that you were willing to let me come in. And as I mentioned on Saturday, we'll spend about 15 minutes. I'll share some things about what we do to help our sellers realize the highest price in a short period of time for their home. And if at the end of what I share with you, it doesn't make sense or doesn't feel like the right fit for you, just let me know and I'm gonna get up and leave and I'll let you get back to watching the Red Sox game. Does that make sense? You're good with that? Okay, great. So thank you again. So one of the things that we have been very excited about is over the last 23 years, it's been 23 years now, we've been #1 in our marketplace. Now, a lot of our seller clients, while they're thrilled about that, what they don't really care about as much as about the market share that we dominate. They really care about how do we do that and how are we year after year outpacing and satisfying more sellers than anybody else. So let me share a little bit about how we do that. Now, I've brought for you a copy of my comprehensive marketing program, and I'm going to leave this with you, and you guys can follow through with this as I talk to the different elements. I think this will help to answer some of your questions, even as we speak about the different elements, and I'll leave this with you because this is very comprehensive, and I want you to have a clear understanding of what we do to help market properties. So you'll see that the very first thing that we focus on is professional photography. So we've gone out in the marketplace and we've found real estate specialist photographers that take magazine grade quality images. And those images are really important because everything we do with marketing your home starts with us being able to tell the story, tell the narrative of what makes your home so special. If we capture that through images, then everything else is available to us. Now that's an expensive proposition, I have to say. Sometimes we spend $500, $600, $800 for photography. That's an investment that we're willing to make because we know the differentiation on the front end can mean all the difference to you on the back end. Now the very first thing we're going to do with that imagery once we capture it is we're going to create a single property website for you. Now you might not know what a single property website is. It's a website that we're going to have our tech team is going to take that fabulous imagery, it's going to take the narrative that I've written about your property, and we're going to construct a property website just about your property. Now I'm going to use that single property website when I help to market your property through social media, through other channels that I might utilize, as well as my direct agent-to-agent and buyer direct marketing. And that'll allow us to help tell the story about your home in the most efficient manner possible. Again, it's an expensive investment in creating that, but I think that it's worth it, and I think my sellers have found that as well. Now the other thing that I'm going to do right after we build that single property website is I'm going to have my team put together an electronic flyer about your property. So in my database right now, I have probably about 4,000 email addresses. Now some of them are my past clients, some of them are my family, my friends. I don't have that many family. Some of them are vendors, plumbers, electricians, painters, lawyers. What I want to do is I want to hit the ground running. I want to let everyone that I know, I want to let them know that your home is available for purchase. So I'm going to create that e-flyer and I'll send it to you. You may want to share that with your electronic database as well. It allows us to hit the ground running and to reach as many people as quickly as possible that they themselves might know other people that might be interested in buying a fabulous home just like yours. Once we've got that in place, I'm also going to use that imagery that we had, and we're going to create a visual tour of your property. Now, the reason why we do this is not because we don't believe in the photography and the still imagery. What we've found is that when we create a visual tour of your home, we're better able to capture the imagination of a buyer by narrating your fine home and helping to show them all the elements, features, and benefits of if they lived in your home, what their life might be like. So we'll be able to use that. We're going to post that to YouTube. We'll be able to share that. We'll use that, again, in a lot of our social media marketing, as well as some of the other avenues that we reach out to the consumers directly. So it'll be a great way for us to differentiate your home that might not otherwise happen if we didn't create that visual tour. Now, the next thing, and I'm so proud of this, I really think you're going to like this. I want to share with you our beautiful, full 4-color, professionally printed, full bleed imagery brochures. These brochures are a showpiece, and I think you can see from the beautiful photography that we've captured, the narrative that we've got about your property, we're able to really tell the story of what makes your home so special. Now, what we've found is that brochures are not what bring people to a property, because most buyers actually pick up your brochure when they come to visit your property for the first time. What the brochure does is it allows the buyer, when they're sitting at home that night or later that afternoon in the office, it allows the buyer to reimagine and re-experience what they witnessed personally when they came to visit your home by using full bleed photography. And it is a more expensive printing process. You can feel this paper is really, this is really special. It feels really nice. Now, it's a more expensive proposition than printing something on our copier in the office, but we feel that this is the way we can best complement the value of your home in the eyes of those buyers. And we feel that professionalism will also help us to realize a greater value for you as a seller in any offers that come from those buyers. Take a look at that. It's really, really nice. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is, and if you're okay with this, is I'd like to have my team create a professional video spot that we're going to utilize on our television program called At Home in New England. Now, we didn't invent putting homes on TV, right? That's HGTV and a lot of those other sites. Those sites' popularity, though, we can capitalize on that. And over the last 2 years, as our TV program has run every single week on Sundays across the New England region, what we have found is that we have reached more buyers in more communities that would not have otherwise been looking for property in our area. Because our TV program reaches such a broad geographic area, we're connecting with buyers who might not have ever thought of purchasing a home in Norwell before. So if you're okay with it, I'm going to use my team. We'll do a professional narration. It's not my voice. I'm not James Earl Jones. But we'll do a nice narration, and we'll put your home on our weekly TV program if you're okay with that. I think you can see these are the kinds of things that we invest in. That obviously, this costs us more money up front, but you can imagine the payoff for our sellers is to leave no stone unturned and to find buyers wherever they are. Would you be okay if we did that for your home? Okay, great. I just wanted to make sure we could do that, so great. Now, if you've been here for 11 years, countless times you've probably received postcards from agents who are marketing properties in the area. Now, we've done that in the past. I have made a choice to do something a little bit different, and it's a deeper and more specific investment on my part, but I think that you'll agree when you see this that this might be just the thing to help set your home apart from those other homes that have been sold in your neighborhood. So instead of sending a postcard, which very easily gets looked at and flipped into the trash, I use a mailing program, and you can see this is a nice silver envelope. It's got script address. It's got a stamp up here in the corner. It's got my return address. And to me, when I get something like this looks like an invitation. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to miss out on a party. So I open this, and we're going to send this to 100 of your neighbors. And what are we sending? Well, this is very similar to our brochure. This is not just a postcard. This is an actual storytelling of what your property is all about. And you might imagine we get incredible response when we reach out to neighbors. It brings neighbors to your open house. It brings their friends to your open house or any other way that we're marketing your property. So this is a great way that we can reach through the direct mail, but not like a postcard that gets tossed in the trash, but a real marketing piece, professionally created, that mimics the beauty of the brochure, and we put that in the hands of 100 consumers that live on your property. What we found is that most neighbors know people that want to live here as well, and they are great advocates to speaking to the features and benefits of living here. You can imagine we want to harness them as we reach that marketplace. Now, I touched on earlier when we talked about that e-flyer, about I'm going to use that to reach my electronic communication. Well, I also have social media channels, right? Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course through our office, we have our office pages as well. I know a large number of people, and I'm sure you do as well, but that's really not enough for me. A lot of agents are using their own personal channels to market their properties, and while that's effective, what we're going to do is, it's a little bit more expensive, it's an investment, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a program that we have called HomeSpotter Boost. What HomeSpotter Boost allows me to do is not just put your home in front of the people that might know me, that follow my social channels, but I'm going to be able to use what we call buyer intelligence. It's using advanced analytics to figure out who are the potential buyers that want a home just like yours. And by utilizing that platform, we're going to go out and we're going to make sure that we put your home in front of as many as 4,000 potential buyers who are looking for a home just like yours in our marketplace. But not just our local marketplace, but across the region and even across the state. So we're going to use those deep analytics to try and make sure we put your home in front of those potential consumers, in addition to what we're going to do with my own social channels. I think that while it's an investment, I think you'll appreciate that. Next up, to leave no stone unturned, we're going into print. So I would like, with your permission, to put your home in Boston Magazine, one of the upcoming issues of Boston Magazine. Now, sometimes clients ask really great questions, like, well, why aren't you in the Social Real Estate Magazine? Or why aren't you in that little real estate book that I see at the pizza store? Well, here's the thing. Our research over the years has found that while Boston Magazine is more expensive for us to advertise in, many of those real estate publications, they're not subscriber-based publications, so they don't have a lot of shelf life, right? Someone picks it up and they toss it away as quickly as they get it. It has no staying power because the person hasn't deliberately subscribed. They're not paying for that content. Boston Magazine has several 100,000 subscribers here in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And what we have been doing for the past 2 years, since September of 2019, so almost 2 years now, past 2 years now, we've been putting in our advertisement called The View. Now, The View is typically 18 to 20 pages of homes across Massachusetts. And by being in here month after month after month, what our findings are is that consumer clients are coming to Boston Magazine to look at what are the new homes that are on the market. And I would like to do an 1/8 of a page ad of your home and market your home through Boston Magazine. Now, you might say, geez, Davenport, homes are selling so quickly right now. Isn't there a lead time on Boston Magazine? And there is, right? So our cost of a page in Boston Magazine is about $5,000. And the lead time can be up to a month away. Here's what we're finding is even though homes are going under agreement really quickly, there are a number of homes, about 17% of the homes in our marketplace are falling through with the first buyer. That means that good agents, good brokers are out there thinking about not just the first buyer they need to find, but the second, third, and possibly fourth buyer they need to find for your home. We feel that Boston Magazine will hit that market and help us to drive the greatest number of buyers for your home. Whether we've got a buyer in the first day, the first week, or the first month, we're going to reach and find them no matter where they are. And I think you can imagine you're going to appreciate the benefit of us reaching through and making sure we don't leave a stone unturned. Now next, I talked about using e-marketing through my Sphere database to reach all of my sphere of influence, my past clients. I've also got a list. I've got a list here of about 1,000 different agents who've all sold homes in the town of Norwell in the last 12 months. Now, interestingly enough, what I've found is if I directly market to them, they have buyers right now who are looking. And I'm not going to leave it to chance that they're looking at MLS today. Every week we send out something called our update. I would like to include the e-flyer of your property as we reach to those specific 1,000 agents that are doing business in this town right now. In the last 12 months, they've all done business. I want to make sure we put your home in front of them, because what I've found is that while we as a great company do a lot of our internal cooperating brokerage ourselves, about 70% of all sales happen with cooperating brokerage through Weichert, through Conway, through Ravis, through Compass. We're going to reach those agents no matter where they are, and we're going to unleash and harness their energy as well as our own. A lot of sellers think that it's my job to go find them that buyer for their home. In reality, it's my job to expose your home to the broadest audience possible so that I can help unearth the highest retail paying buyer for your home. Now, to that end, and to maximize our exposure, we're also out on Zillow and Realtor.com and ColdwellBanker.com and ColdwellBankerHomes.com and all the other sites. About 700 sites that we partner with where we're going to make sure that your home appears so we can reach that technology platform buyer pool that's out there. About 16 million Americans will look at property online today. We want to make sure that your home is in front of them. Now, most powerfully about that is not that we put your home there, it's that we retain the analytics, and you and I will work together to see what's working as we drive traffic through those technology platforms. In addition, we also make sure that your information is accurate on every single one of those sites. That's really important. Advocacy on your behalf could not be understated. As an important element of what I bring to the table. Now, the last thing that I want to make sure you feel good about is that all the things I've talked about are actually going to get accomplished. And I follow this up. So as we deploy the marketing on your behalf, and as it takes impact and as it shows, I will keep you updated throughout the process so you'll know step by step exactly what's happening. I think you probably have found that over the years, there are people that make a lot of promises. I like to fulfill my promises, and I like to have you hold me accountable. So I've shared with you the collection of what we do to help make sure we're exposing your home across the broadest audience possible to help you capture the highest and best retail paying buyer for your home. I told you when we started, it's been about 15 minutes. I think we've done that pretty effectively. So my question for you now is, do you want me to get up and go, or should we talk more about your home's value and what we can do to get your home on the market? Okay. So that's the presentation. I didn't time myself. I should have, but it's on my clock on my phone, so I can certainly check that.